Welcome back, everybody. Sam the Electrician here, talking about Western independence and Alberta separation. Thanks for joining me again. So, another big piece of news. It's been a really big week for news, so I'm going to be making a whole bunch of little videos over the next couple days. Is the Teck, the big Teck project up here where I work, just north of us, has they've voluntarily withdrawn and canceled the project before the federal government ruled on it. The first thing that makes me think, or the first thing I think of when I hear that, is that someone in the federal government bribed the president of Teck and got to him first. And he wrote this big, long, sort of ambiguous letter, not quite blaming the government and not quite blaming climate change, and just leaving it nice and open so everyone on every side can say, see, look. And everyone, that letter can be interpreted a million ways from Sunday. So I think personally the government said, well, we'll give your company a big deal, or we'll give you a big payout, a real quiet hush-hush type thing if you just quietly do this and write this ambiguous letter. If he was fully for the mine and he wanted the feds to be put on the spot, then he would have left it for another week, and he would have made them make a decision, and he would have forced a decision. So this is very fishy to me. Of course, I'm a critical thinker, and I don't always take things at face value. However, the result is much the same. There will be no Teck mine. There will be no big mega project in Alberta. I've been saying this for quite some time now. There will be no more mega projects in Alberta until we leave Confederation. We can leave Confederation. It's quite simple. Who's going to stop us, Trudeau? The rest of Canada? You think they're actually going to come and try to stop us? No. So all we have to do is actually do it. We just need to get motivated and stand up together and say, we're leaving and you can't stop us. And that's it. Because once again, we've seen Trudeau and the federal Liberal government crushing the economic viability of this province. I was pleased to see yesterday on the news there was a House of Commons question period, either Monday or during the weekend. I don't know when the actual day was, but there was some pretty fiery rhetoric coming from the Conservative Albertan members of Parliament. The one lady very passionately asked Prime Minister Trudeau whether or not he wants Alberta in this country, which kind of follows from that Buffalo declaration that Michelle Rempel and three of her colleagues pronounced last Thursday, where even the federal members of Parliament who are part of that system and are mostly, in my opinion, globalists and nationalists, even they are getting sick of this, and they can see it better than anyone, and they've had enough. So that was really good. And then the weak government response that, we did $8 billion in investment in Alberta projects over the last year or two or whatever, like one of these projects is $20 billion in investment. So don't, it's just basically what's happened in this country now is the Liberals have turned into the anti-Alberta party, driven by the ideological fascism of climate change hysteria. And this country is now separated right down the middle between climate change radical and climate change alarmists and all the people who go along with them because they've been fed, the CBC for so many years, the propaganda arm of the Liberal government. The younger people don't know. And you can't really even blame them because they've been indoctrinated. The government and the CBC have done its job very well from their point of view. So it's basically an us and them situation. And like I've said before, we have to get out. We cannot stay in a country that literally wants to see us destroyed economically, wants to charge us taxes to stay alive during the winter, extra taxes to heat our homes when it's minus 30 out. I mean, there is no logic behind trying to tax people to change the weather, and there never will be. So, I mean, they have all their talking points, and they've convinced themselves. It's like arguing religion with someone. You can't. They're too far down the rabbit hole. And this whole country is basically being divided along those two lines. You're either with the Liberals or you're against them on this climate change thing. Even in the House of Commons, Trudeau stood up and said, well, Conservatives, all they're concerned about is jobs, or you can't be concerned about jobs unless you have your mind on climate change. And it's become the new religion of the the 2020s. And they're going to virtue signal to the UN and to the rest of the world that they've drank the Kool-Aid and they know, and they've got all the talking points. So there's two options for Alberta. It's either vote in a party in the federal party that's going to favor our province, which we all know that's not going to happen by the way the country's set up and how the Greater Toronto Area and Montreal determine who gets in power in this country, or leave. And that's it. And we can leave easily. It's don't let people fool you or scare you. It's so easy to go. There's no law that says that a province can't leave this this confederation. And if they try to tell us that it's not constitutional or whatever, well, that's why we're leaving, because we don't want part of your constitution anymore. We want our own constitution. And there is no authority higher than us. You can't make us stay. We are not going to stay. So, so the Teck mine's gone, all that money's lost, and again, as I've said before, it's only going to get worse before it gets better. Take it easy.